Have you ever wondered why some people spend their entire lives chasing a paycheck, while a few create such vast wealth that even their future generations remain secure? What is the secret that transforms an ordinary employee into an extraordinary millionaire? This book reveals those very secrets. Salary to Wealth, Millionaire Secrets is not just a book, it is a journey. A journey that frees you from the prison of salary dependence and leads you toward true financial freedom. It shows you how to take a limited income, shift your mindset, and apply the right strategies to completely transform the direction of your life. Each chapter opens a new door. In the first chapter, you'll discover how the paycheck mentality keeps you trapped in an endless cycle. In the second chapter, you'll learn the principles of building a strong foundation for wealth. In the third chapter, you'll be guided through powerful strategies of investing and growing your fortune. In the fourth chapter, you'll uncover how to turn your time and skills into wealth-creating engines. And in the final chapter, you'll discover the millionaire mindset, the ultimate key to lifelong success and freedom. This book is not written to show you dreams, but to give you the tools to make those dreams real. It offers you a vision, a roadmap, and a power that already exists within you, but may have been buried under doubt and routine. If you are serious about changing your financial future, this book is your first step. Remember, wealth is not luck. It is the result of mindset, discipline, and the right decisions. And those very decisions are about to change your life.
Chapter 1. Breaking Free from the Salary Mindset. For most people, a salary feels like safety. Every month, when the paycheck arrives, there's a sense of relief. Bills can be paid, groceries bought, and life goes on. It feels stable, predictable, and comforting. But here lies the hidden trap. That very stability becomes the prison. When you depend on your salary alone, you tie your life's worth to a monthly number. Your time is sold at a fixed rate. Your growth is capped by someone else's approval. And your dreams are often reduced to what your paycheck allows. You begin living not by vision, but by limitation. The cruel reality is that the salary mindset convinces you to accept less when you are capable of so much more. Millionaires see the world through a completely different lens. They don't measure their value by a paycheck. They measure it by impact, creativity, and the ability to multiply resources. Where most people see a salary as the final goal, millionaires see it only as the seed capital for greater opportunities. They ask different questions. Instead of how much do I earn, they ask how far can I make this money grow? That single shift in perspective separates the wealthy from the struggling. Because the truth is, wealth doesn't begin in your bank account, it begins in your mind. The salary mindset has one major flaw. It trains you to think in straight lines instead of exponential growth. If you earn a fixed salary, your income will only rise in small steps, a promotion here, a bonus there. But millionaires think in curves. They imagine growth that multiplies, not crawls. They design businesses, investments, and systems that expand beyond the hours they can personally work. While the average person is trapped in a cycle of work, earn, spend, repeat, the wealthy focus on creating streams of income that flow with or without their active involvement. Now, breaking free from the salary mindset does not mean recklessly quitting your job tomorrow. Your salary is not the enemy, it is the fuel. The mistake is in treating it as the destination rather than the vehicle. Think of your salary as your first investor. It funds your dreams, your education, your investments. It gives you the initial stability to take risks. But if you cling to it as your only lifeline, you'll never escape its limits. The goal is to use your salary as a stepping stone, not a permanent crutch. Imagine this. two people earn the same salary of $1,000. Person A uses it to buy the latest phone, eat out every weekend, and live from paycheck to paycheck. Person B, however, spends modestly, saves aggressively, and uses a portion to invest in a small side hustle, maybe online trading, digital freelancing, or learning a high-demand skill. After a few years, Person A is still stuck at the same job, waiting for a 5% raise, while Person B has built an additional stream of income that now matches or exceeds the salary. That's the difference between employee thinking and wealth builder thinking. The truth is, companies are not designed to make you rich. They're designed to get maximum value out of your time and skills for the lowest possible cost. If you believe that staying loyal to your job will eventually make you wealthy, you are living an illusion. Yes, you can climb the corporate ladder, but even at the top, you're still exchanging time for money. Millionaires break this cycle because they refuse to let their income be controlled by someone else's decision. They take ownership of their financial future. One of the most powerful shifts you can make is to stop asking, "What can I afford with my salary?" and start asking, "How can I multiply my money beyond my salary?" This shift changes your entire outlook. Suddenly, you're not limited to thinking about what you can buy today. You're focused on what you can build tomorrow. Instead of dreaming about promotions, you dream about creating systems. Instead of waiting for bonuses, you create products, services, or investments that keep paying you again and again. Think of it like planting seeds. If you consume every seed you're given, you'll never have a harvest. That's what most people do with their salary. They consume it entirely. But millionaires take a portion of those seeds, plant them in fertile ground, and watch them grow into trees that bear fruit year after year. Your salary is just a packet of seeds. What you choose to do with them will determine whether you remain dependent or become truly free. Breaking the salary mindset also means changing the way you see your own value. Too many people believe their worth is equal to their paycheck. They think, if my boss pays me $2,000 a month, that's what I'm worth. But that is a lie. Your value is not what someone else pays you. It is the skills, creativity, and drive you carry within. The marketplace may not recognize it yet, but the potential inside you is limitless. Once you understand this, you stop begging for raises and start building avenues where your true value can shine. There's another hidden danger in relying on salary alone. It makes you comfortable. And comfort is the enemy of growth. Comfort whispers, "You're safe. Don't take risks. Just survive." But survival is not living. It's existing. Millionaires embrace discomfort because they know it is the soil where growth happens. They risk rejection, failure, and uncertainty, but in return, they gain freedom, wealth, and fulfillment. If you want to break free, you must be willing to step outside the comfort zone of salary dependence. Consider this. Every great fortune started with someone daring to think beyond their paycheck. From entrepreneurs who built empires to investors who multiplied small savings into massive wealth, they all shared one common trait. They refused to let their salary define their future. They used it as a launch pad, not a cage. And so can you. Here's a practical way to start breaking free. First, reframe your salary as a tool, not a reward. Every paycheck is an opportunity to create assets. Second, divide your income with discipline. Pay yourself first. Set a percentage that must go into investments before you touch anything else. Third, invest in skills that increase your earning capacity beyond your job. The fastest way to escape the salary trap is to build something that cannot be capped by a manager's decision. Finally, embrace the long-term vision. Wealth doesn't happen overnight. It compounds over years of smart choices. Remember, freedom is not when your salary increases. Freedom is when your life no longer depends on a salary. That is the mindset you must adopt. The journey from salary to wealth begins the moment you stop seeing yourself as an employee and start seeing yourself as an architect of your own financial destiny. Every paycheck gives you two choices: consume it all and remain trapped, or plant part of it and create freedom. Millionaires choose the second option, and that is why they live differently. They don't wait for opportunities, they create them. They don't depend on a boss for security. They depend on their vision, courage, and persistence. You were not born to live a life limited by your monthly paycheck. You were born to create, to expand, to build, and to live abundantly. Breaking free from the salary mindset is not about abandoning your job. It's about refusing to let it define you. It's about taking control, using your salary wisely, and transforming it into wealth that works for you. The world is filled with examples of people who started with nothing more than a small paycheck, but chose to think differently. They didn't settle for survival. They aimed for abundance. They didn't just dream about financial freedom. They built it, step by disciplined step. You have the same opportunity. Your journey from salary to wealth begins now with the decision to break free, think bigger, and believe that you are capable of more than your paycheck suggests.
Chapter 2. Building the Wealth Foundation. Wealth is not an accident. It doesn't appear by luck, magic, or chance. It is built brick by brick, layer by layer, through habits, discipline, and clarity. Just as no skyscraper can stand tall without a strong base, no fortune can last without a solid financial foundation. Many people chase fast money, lotteries, sudden windfalls, or get-rich-quick schemes, but what they fail to understand is this: without structure, wealth collapses as quickly as it comes. Building the foundation is not glamorous, but it is what separates temporary riches from lasting prosperity. The first element of a wealth foundation is financial awareness. Most people live in a blur when it comes to money. They know how much they earn, but they have no idea where it goes. They spend unconsciously, reacting to impulses, advertisements, and desires, rather than planning their financial future. Millionaires, on the other hand, treat awareness as power. They track their income, their spending, their savings, and their investments. They know every dollar's job. They understand that money left without direction will find its way into unnecessary expenses. Awareness is like turning on the lights in a dark room. Suddenly you see where your energy leaks, and once you see it, you can control it. The second pillar is discipline. Discipline is the bridge between dreams and reality. Many people say they want to be wealthy, but their actions betray them. They cannot resist unnecessary spending. They buy liabilities disguised as luxuries, and they live beyond their means. Millionaires are not stingy, but they are strategic. They know when to say no today so they can say yes tomorrow. Every choice matters. Skipping a night out may look small, but compounded over years, that money could become the down payment on a property. Discipline is not deprivation, it is empowerment. It is choosing long-term growth over short-term pleasure. A powerful strategy that wealthy people live by is paying yourself first. This means before you pay bills, buy food, or spend on entertainment, you allocate a portion of your income to yourself in the form of savings and investments. Most people do the opposite. They pay everyone else first, the landlord, the utility companies, the stores, and then save whatever is left, which is usually nothing. Paying yourself first flips the script. It declares, "My future matters more than my impulses." Even if you start with a small percentage, the habit plants the seed of wealth. Over time, this practice transforms your financial life. Another critical aspect of the wealth foundation is mastering the difference between assets and liabilities. Assets are things that put money into your pocket. Liabilities are things that take money out. Most people confuse the two. They think a new car is an asset because it looks good and feels good, but in reality, it drains them with fuel costs, maintenance, and depreciation. A true asset is something like rental property, dividend-paying stocks, or a small business, things that generate cash flow. Millionaires train their minds to love assets and avoid unnecessary liabilities. They understand that every purchase is either a seed that grows or a hole that drains. Let's be clear, wealth is not built by saving alone. Saving is just the preparation. Money sitting in a bank does not grow, it sleeps. A strong foundation means you not only save, but also direct that money toward growth. That growth can come from investments, skills, or ventures. Saving without investing is like collecting seeds but never planting them. Millionaires prepare by saving, but they expand by investing. The foundation is not just storage, it is launch power. Equally important is the way you handle debt. Debt can be destructive or empowering, depending on how it's used. Bad debt, like credit card balances, payday loans, or consumer debt, enslaves you. It robs your future income to pay for past decisions. Good debt, however, can be a lever. If you borrow to buy an appreciating asset or to fund a business that produces cash flow, debt becomes a tool rather than a trap. Millionaires do not fear debt, but they use it strategically. They know the difference between being controlled by money and making money work for them. Another overlooked part of the wealth foundation is habits. Wealthy people understand that success is not built on giant leaps, but on consistent steps. Small habits like budgeting weekly, reviewing investments monthly, and setting financial goals yearly create stability. On the other hand, poor habits like impulse buying, ignoring bills, or failing to plan create chaos. Habits may look insignificant day to day, but they shape the destiny of your finances. If you master your habits, you master your wealth. Your foundation is also shaped by your environment. Who do you spend time with? Are you surrounded by people who waste money, complain about salaries, and mock investments? Or are you surrounded by people who talk about opportunities, growth, and financial freedom? The people around you influence your beliefs and behaviors more than you realize. Millionaires carefully choose their circles. They seek mentors, peers, and networks that elevate their mindset and push them toward smarter decisions. If you want to strengthen your foundation, examine your environment and make conscious changes. Mindset is the invisible cement that holds the wealth foundation together. Without the right mindset, even the best strategies crumble. If you see money as evil, hard to get, or impossible to keep, those beliefs will sabotage you. Millionaires view money as a tool, a resource, a servant. They don't worship it, but they respect it. They see money as a means to create freedom, impact, and abundance. A strong foundation begins with strong beliefs. You must believe you are capable of handling wealth before wealth will trust you. Building your wealth foundation also requires patience. In a world obsessed with speed, patience becomes a rare but priceless asset. Many people abandon their journey too early because they expect overnight results. Millionaires know that wealth is a marathon, not a sprint. They plant seeds, water them consistently, and wait for them to grow. The discipline to stay consistent, even when results are not immediate, is what ensures long-term success. Patience is not passive, it is active faith in the process. Consider this. Every empire, every great fortune, every success story started with a foundation. Behind every mansion, there was once a person budgeting carefully, saving diligently, and making deliberate choices. Behind every billionaire, there were years of invisible effort, habits, sacrifices, and foundations nobody applauded. What you see in public, the cars, the luxury, the freedom, is only the tip of the iceberg. The foundation lies beneath, unseen but essential. So, how do you start building your own? Begin with awareness. Track every expense for the next 30 days. Then add discipline. Cut what doesn't serve your future. Next, pay yourself first, no matter how small the amount. Focus on buying assets, not liabilities. Attack bad debt with aggression. Form simple habits that compound over time. Surround yourself with people who think bigger. And most importantly, guard your mindset. Train it to believe in growth, abundance, and discipline. As you lay down these bricks one by one, you'll notice a shift. You'll no longer fear emergencies because you'll have reserves. You'll no longer feel trapped by your salary because you'll see the beginnings of financial independence. You'll no longer dream vaguely about wealth, you'll be actively constructing it. Your foundation will give you confidence, stability, and momentum. Wealth is not a castle built overnight. It is a fortress constructed on purpose. And like any fortress, its strength depends on its base. The world will throw storms at you, job losses, economic crashes, unexpected bills. But if your foundation is strong, you will not crumble. You will stand, rebuild, and keep rising. That is the power of building wisely. Remember, the foundation may not impress anyone in the short run. Nobody celebrates the digging, the laying of cement, or the hours of unseen labor. But when the skyscraper rises, when the fortune stands tall, everyone will admire it. What they don't realize is that the real success happened long before the world could see it. And that's where you are right now, quietly building, preparing, and setting the stage for greatness. This is where your journey transforms, from being someone who merely earns to someone who consciously builds, from being reactive with money to being strategic, from being dependent on a paycheck to being grounded in financial strength. Build your foundation and you will never fear the future. Build your foundation and you will have the courage to pursue bigger dreams. Build your foundation and wealth will not just visit you, it will stay with you for life.
Chapter 3. The Power of Multiple Income Streams. Relying on one source of income is like balancing on a single leg. The moment that leg gives way, you collapse. This is the reality of millions of people around the world who depend entirely on their salary. They build their entire life on one paycheck, and when that paycheck disappears, whether through job loss, company downsizing, or economic shifts, their financial world crumbles. Millionaires, however, understand a deeper truth. One stream of income is never enough. Real wealth is built on multiple streams that flow together, creating security, abundance, and freedom. Imagine income as water. If you rely on a single tap, a sudden blockage leaves you thirsty. But if you have 5, 6, or even 10 taps connected to different sources, the flow never stops. This is why wealthy people sleep peacefully at night. They know that even if one stream dries up, the others will continue to flow. The concept of multiple streams is not luxury thinking, it is survival and growth thinking. It is the bridge between financial dependence and financial independence. The average person thinks, I have a job, that's enough. But what happens if that job disappears tomorrow? How long can savings last? How long before bills, rent, and debt overwhelm them? This is why relying on one income is dangerous. It may feel secure, but in reality, it's the most fragile position you can be in. Millionaires refuse to put themselves in that position. They build resilience by creating systems of income that cannot be destroyed by a single event. Now, what do multiple streams look like in practice? They can take many forms. Some millionaires build businesses. Others invest in rental properties. Some create digital products that sell while they sleep. Others invest in dividend-paying stocks, royalties, or intellectual property. The specific form doesn't matter as much as the principle. Never depend on one source. Each additional stream is like adding another pillar under a bridge. Your financial structure becomes stronger with every pillar you add. The beauty of multiple income streams is that they don't all have to start big. In fact, most of them begin small, sometimes as small as $100 a month. But as they grow, they compound into powerful flows of wealth. For example, an online side hustle may start by covering your utility bills. A year later, it may cover your rent. Eventually, it may exceed your salary entirely. Millionaires have the patience to nurture these small beginnings until they grow into rivers. Another advantage is freedom of choice. When you only have one income, you tolerate things you hate, an unfair boss, toxic work culture, or work that drains your soul because you have no alternative. But when you build multiple streams, you gain the power to walk away. You're no longer chained to one job because your survival does not depend on it. This freedom is priceless. It allows you to choose work you love, not just work you need. Creating multiple streams also sharpens your creativity. Instead of seeing yourself as just an employee, you begin seeing opportunities everywhere. You start asking, can I turn my skills into freelance income? Can I teach what I know online? Can I create a product that sells without my presence? Can I invest in assets that generate steady returns? This mindset shift alone is powerful. It transforms you from a passive earner into an active creator of wealth. But let's be clear, multiple streams are not about working 24/7. They are about working smarter, not harder. You don't want 10 extra jobs. You want systems that generate income with minimal time input. For example, investing in real estate is not a job, it's a system. Creating an online course that sells on repeat is not a job, it's a system. Writing a book that continues to earn royalties is not a job, it's a system. Millionaires build systems, not endless workloads. One of the biggest lies society teaches is focus only on your job and everything will be fine. But millionaires challenge this thinking. They diversify. They don't rely on a single company, a single skill, or a single economy. They build a financial ecosystem. And because of that, they thrive in situations where others panic. When economies crash, when industries decline, when companies lay off employees, the wealthy adapt because their streams are diverse. Another powerful truth is that multiple streams reduce fear. When you have only one source, you live with constant anxiety, fear of losing the job, fear of medical bills or unexpected expenses. But when you have multiple streams, you live with confidence. You know that your future is not tied to a single paycheck. Fear fades and confidence grows. And with confidence comes boldness, the courage to take risks, explore opportunities, and expand further. Some might think, but I don't have time for multiple streams. The reality is, you don't have time not to. If you continue relying on one income, the risk is too great. You don't need to create all streams at once. Start with one, build it until it is stable, then add another. Over time, you'll create a network of income that supports you. The earlier you start, the stronger your financial safety net becomes. Think of some of the wealthiest individuals in history. They never relied on one thing. A famous entrepreneur may own technology companies, real estate, books, and media deals all at once. An investor may hold stock portfolios, properties, and businesses. A creative person may earn from speaking, writing, consulting, and teaching. The wealthy multiply their income channels because they know resilience lies in diversity. Building multiple streams also requires a long-term vision. It is not about instant gratification. You may spend months building something that pays little at first, but over years it grows. Millionaires are willing to invest the time because they see the bigger picture. They don't ask, how much can I earn this week? They ask, what will this stream look like in 5 years?
That mindset separates builders from dreamers. The greatest benefit, however, is the shift from survival to abundance. When you rely on one income, every bill feels like an attack. Every unexpected expense feels like a crisis. But with multiple streams, money flows more easily. You're not fighting to survive, you're positioned to grow. And as those streams expand, you begin to experience abundance, not just financially, but emotionally. You feel free, you feel empowered, you feel in control of your destiny. So where do you begin? Start by identifying your skills. What can you do that others are willing to pay for? Then look at your passions. What do you enjoy that can be turned into income? Next, explore assets, real estate, stocks, businesses that can generate cash flow. Don't try to do everything at once. Pick one, master it, and then move to the next. Remember this truth. Millionaires are not built by one paycheck. They are built by streams that flow together, creating rivers of wealth. Every stream you add is another step toward freedom. Every stream is another shield against uncertainty. Every stream is another brick in your fortress of abundance. You were not born to live paycheck to paycheck. You were born to create, to build, to expand, and to multiply. Do not settle for a single stream when life offers you the chance to create many. Step into the mindset of wealth and start constructing your streams today. In time, you'll look back and realize that the decision to build multiple incomes was the turning point, the moment when you stopped surviving and started thriving.
Chapter 4. Investing like a millionaire. There comes a moment in every wealth journey where saving alone is no longer enough. Saving protects you, but it does not multiply your fortune. A bank account can give you security, but it will never give you freedom. Inflation quietly eats away at stored money, turning today's value into tomorrow's weakness. Millionaires know this truth better than anyone. Money that doesn't grow dies. That is why they master the art of investing. They don't just save, they plant. They don't just hold, they multiply. They see money not as something to keep safe, but as a tool to build empires. Investing is the bridge between earning and multiplying. Most people work hard to earn money and then let it sit idle like soldiers without orders. Millionaires, however, give every dollar a mission. $1 is not just a unit of currency to them. It is a worker, a builder, a soldier ready to fight for their financial independence. When money is invested wisely, it produces more money. That's how fortunes grow, not from endless labor, but from money working harder than the person who owns it. The first key to investing like a millionaire is education. Many people fear investing because they don't understand it. Fear comes from ignorance. They think the stock market is gambling, or real estate is too complicated, or business investments are too risky. Millionaires replace fear with knowledge. They study the markets, they learn strategies, they analyze trends. They know that risk never disappears, but risk can always be managed. To them, knowledge is the shield that protects wealth while it grows. Another principle millionaires live by is starting early. Time is the greatest multiplier. A small investment made consistently over years becomes far more powerful than a large investment made too late. This is the power of compounding. Your money earns returns, and those returns earn returns, creating exponential growth. Millionaires don't wait for the perfect time to invest. They know the perfect time is always now. Delaying only cheats the future. But investing like a millionaire is not about chasing quick wins. It is about thinking long-term. The impatient investor wants instant results, but the wealthy understand that real growth takes years. They plant seeds today with the vision of harvesting tomorrow. They can wait because they know the future will reward those who prepare.
This long-term mindset separates the wealthy from the desperate. While others panic at market dips or economic downturns, millionaires stay calm. They see opportunity where others see disaster because they trust the process of time. Diversification is another cornerstone. Millionaires never put all their wealth in one place. They spread it across different baskets: stocks, real estate, businesses, digital assets, commodities. This way, if one sector falls, the others continue to grow. They know that wealth built on one pillar is fragile, but wealth built on many pillars is unshakable. This strategy is not just about protecting money, it's about creating balance, resilience, and steady growth across multiple fronts. One of the most overlooked strategies millionaires use is reinvesting profits. The average person spends their gains the moment they arrive: new car, new gadgets, vacations. But millionaires do the opposite. They pour the profits back into their investments, allowing growth to accelerate. They know that every time they reinvest, they are building a larger engine of wealth. This cycle creates momentum, and momentum builds empires. Millionaires also think differently about risk. Most people run from it, but the wealthy learn to embrace calculated risks. They know that safety never creates greatness. Keeping money in a savings account may feel safe, but it guarantees smallness. Taking no risks is the biggest risk of all. Millionaires study opportunities, measure potential losses, and then act boldly. They know that fortune rewards courage, but only when that courage is guided by wisdom. Real estate is one of the favorite vehicles for millionaires. Why? Because it combines stability with growth. Properties generate rental income, appreciate over time, and can be leveraged to buy even more assets. Real estate is tangible. You can see it, touch it, improve it. It provides both cash flow and long-term security. Millionaires often use it as a foundation in their investment portfolios. Stocks and equities are another powerful tool. When you buy stocks, you are not just buying paper, you are buying ownership in companies that innovate, grow, and generate profits. Millionaires don't speculate blindly. They research companies, industries, and trends. They focus on businesses with strong foundations and future potential. They think like owners, not gamblers. By holding stocks over time, they ride the waves of growth that build fortunes. Business investments, too, play a massive role. Millionaires are not afraid to back ideas, startups, or ventures. They understand that the highest returns often come from entrepreneurship. Even if some ventures fail, the ones that succeed can change the game entirely. They see businesses not just as money machines, but as value creators. They invest in innovation, impact, and vision, and in return, they reap wealth and legacy. Digital assets have also become a part of modern millionaire strategies. From online businesses to royalties, digital products, or even cryptocurrencies, the wealthy understand the power of the digital economy. They know the world is shifting, and they adapt quickly. While others resist change, millionaires ride the wave. This adaptability ensures that they are never left behind. A powerful difference between average investors and millionaire investors is emotional control. When markets rise, average people become greedy. When markets fall, they panic. Millionaires stay steady. They don't let emotions drive their decisions. They let principles, analysis, and vision guide them. They know that fear and greed are the enemies of wealth, and discipline is the ally. Another aspect of investing like a millionaire is alignment with values. Many wealthy individuals don't just invest for profit, they invest for purpose. They back businesses that reflect their beliefs, causes, or visions for the future. This alignment gives them not only financial returns, but also fulfillment. Wealth is not just about money, it's about meaning. Investing with purpose turns wealth into legacy. The journey of investing is not reserved for the elite. Millionaires don't start rich. They become rich by applying these principles consistently. They begin small, just like everyone else. The difference is they dare to start, they dare to learn, and they dare to stay consistent. Anyone can do this, but most don't because they let fear, excuses, or laziness hold them back. Millionaires break through those barriers. They take action while others hesitate. So how do you start investing like a millionaire? Begin with learning. Read books, attend workshops, study markets. Then start small. Don't wait until you have millions. Even $100 invested wisely is better than nothing. Next, focus on consistency. Invest every month, no matter how small the amount. Diversify. Don't put all your money in one place. Reinvest. Let your gains grow bigger instead of spending them. And most importantly, think long-term. See wealth as a journey, not a sprint. Investing like a millionaire is not about chasing riches. It's about building freedom. It's about creating a life where you are not a prisoner of your job, your bills, or your fears. It's about designing a future where money works for you, instead of you always working for money. It's about leaving behind a legacy that outlives you. Remember this, every dollar in your hand is a seed. You can eat it today, or you can plant it for tomorrow. If you eat it, the pleasure ends quickly. If you plant it, the harvest lasts for years. Millionaires plant, they water, they wait, and then they harvest more than they could ever consume. That is the true secret of wealth. Not labor, not luck, but the discipline and vision to invest like a millionaire.
Chapter 5. The Millionaire Mindset for Life. Wealth is not built in a bank account. It is built in the mind. Every millionaire you admire today started with an invisible treasure, a mindset that refused to accept limits. Before money came, before opportunities arrived, before businesses grew, there was a mental decision, a declaration that life would be bigger than ordinary. The millionaire's journey begins not with numbers, but with beliefs. It is the inner wiring of thoughts that eventually shapes the outer world of wealth. To live with a millionaire mindset is to live with vision. Most people look at today and accept it as permanent. They let their environment dictate their possibilities. Millionaires, however, see beyond the present. They visualize futures no one else can imagine. When they are broke, they imagine abundance. When they are surrounded by doubt, they imagine success. Vision gives them the courage to move, to try, to create, even when no evidence supports them yet. Without vision, no amount of effort matters. With vision, even the smallest step becomes powerful. But vision alone is not enough. A millionaire mindset is also built on discipline. Wealth is not a product of one lucky strike. It is the result of habits repeated consistently over time. Millionaires wake up early not because mornings are magical, but because mornings offer focus. They read, study, and sharpen their minds while others waste hours in distraction. They plan their days, track their progress, and hold themselves accountable. To them, discipline is freedom. It means they control their time instead of letting time control them. Another foundation of this mindset is resilience. Life tests everyone, but millionaires respond differently. When most people face failure, they retreat. They say, maybe I wasn't meant for this. Millionaires look at failure as tuition fees for greatness. They understand that mistakes are lessons, setbacks are teachers, and rejection is redirection. They do not fear losing, they fear quitting. This resilience allows them to rise again and again until success has no choice but to surrender. The millionaire mindset also thrives on abundance thinking. The average mind sees the world as scarce, limited opportunities, limited money, limited chances. This scarcity thinking creates jealousy, fear, and small dreams. Millionaires reject this completely. They believe the world is overflowing with opportunities. If one door closes, another will open. If one market slows, another will rise. Abundance thinking makes them generous, open-minded, and willing to share ideas. They don't believe success is a pie with limited slices. They believe the pie can always grow bigger. Confidence plays a crucial role as well. Millionaires don't wait for others to approve of their dreams. They don't need permission to start. Their confidence comes from within, built through preparation, self-trust, and experience. Even when they don't have all the answers, they believe they can figure it out. Confidence is not arrogance. It is certainty that growth is possible. This inner certainty makes them bold. And boldness attracts opportunities that timidity never sees. The millionaire mindset is also deeply tied to learning. While many stop learning after school, millionaires remain students for life. They devour books, attend seminars, listen to mentors, and surround themselves with knowledge. They understand that money grows only when the mind grows. Every new skill, every new idea, every new perspective becomes a tool to multiply wealth. To them, learning is not optional, it is survival. But perhaps the most defining trait of this mindset is responsibility. Millionaires never blame the government, the economy, or their circumstances for their outcomes. They take ownership of their choices. If they fail, they ask, "What can I do better?" If they succeed, they ask, "How can I grow further?" This radical responsibility keeps them in control. Blame chains people to mediocrity. Responsibility sets them free. Another aspect is the way they manage energy. Millionaires know that mindset is not just mental, it is physical, emotional, and spiritual. They exercise, eat well, and guard their health because they know a tired body cannot produce a wealthy mind. They choose relationships carefully, surrounding themselves with people who inspire, not drain. They also protect their emotions, refusing to indulge in constant negativity, gossip, or self-pity. Their energy becomes a shield, keeping them aligned with growth. Gratitude, surprisingly, is also a pillar of their mindset. While chasing bigger goals, millionaires remain thankful for what they already have. Gratitude keeps them grounded, removes anxiety, and attracts more abundance. When they celebrate small wins, they build momentum for greater victories. Gratitude is not weakness, it is fuel. It creates joy in the journey, not just in the destination. The millionaire mindset also embraces creativity. Where others see problems, they see possibilities. They ask questions like, how can this be improved? What solution does the world need? Where is the hidden value? Creativity allows them to innovate, disrupt industries, and build wealth in places no one else thought possible. This creative lens makes them pioneers instead of followers. One of the strongest mental frameworks they use is the long-term perspective. While the average person wants instant gratification, fast money, fast fame, fast results, millionaires play the long game. They are willing to sacrifice comfort today for freedom tomorrow. They can delay pleasure, knowing that real success takes years to mature. This patience makes them unstoppable. While others quit halfway, millionaires persist until results appear. The mindset of a millionaire also includes service and contribution. They know wealth without purpose feels empty. That is why many of them give back, through charities, mentorship, or creating opportunities for others. They believe success is multiplied when shared. Contribution not only impacts society, but it also fuels motivation. When you know your wealth helps others, your drive becomes unstoppable. And yet the most critical element is belief in self-worth. Millionaires believe they deserve abundance. Many people secretly sabotage themselves because they feel unworthy of success. They think wealth belongs only to special people. Millionaires reject that lie. They believe wealth is their right, as long as they are willing to work, learn, and grow for it. This deep sense of worth gives them the confidence to claim opportunities others let pass by. So how can you adopt the millionaire mindset for life? Start by controlling your thoughts. Replace "I can't" with "How can I?" Replace excuses with actions. Build habits of discipline. Wake up earlier. Read daily. Manage your money. Surround yourself with people who lift you higher. Practice gratitude. Take responsibility. Be patient. Stay resilient. And above all, believe that you are worthy of wealth. When you begin to think like a millionaire, everything around you starts to shift. Opportunities that were invisible before suddenly appear. Challenges that once felt crushing now look like stepping stones. Life transforms not because the world changed, but because your lens changed. Your thoughts shape your future. And when those thoughts are powerful, disciplined, and abundant, your future cannot help but reflect the same. Remember this: money follows mindset. You can win a lottery and lose it all without the right mindset. You can start broke and rise to wealth with the right mindset. Mindset is the true treasure chest. Unlock it, and money will come. Ignore it, and money will slip away. The millionaire mindset is not just about creating wealth. It's about creating a life. A life where you have freedom, impact, joy, and legacy. A life where you don't just survive, but thrive. A life where every day you wake up knowing that your future is bigger than your past. That is the promise of the millionaire mindset, and it begins the moment you choose it.
Conclusion. Your salary was never meant to limit you. It was meant to launch you. The difference between those who stay stuck and those who become millionaires is not opportunity, but mindset. Every rupee you earn can either be consumed and forgotten or invested and multiplied. Wealth is not about a bigger paycheck. It's about bigger vision, smarter choices, and unshakable consistency. The real millionaire secret is simple. Use your salary as a tool, not a trap. From this moment forward, stop asking, "How much do I earn?" and start asking, "How much can I grow?" Because true wealth is not just money. It's freedom, impact, and legacy. Your journey from salary to wealth starts today. Take the first step and never look back.